The first time I noticed my husband was cheating on me with my cousin, I was holding his phone and a glass of red wine. The wine ended up all over our cream Persian rug, but I managed to keep the phone steady enough to read the message twice. Last night was amazing. I miss you already. Delete this. My name is Fiona, and after 7 years of marriage, I thought I knew what betrayal would feel like. I was wrong. Darling, dinner's in 20 minutes, Leonardo called from downstairs. Sunday dinner with his family, a weekly ritual of subtle daggers wrapped in silk. I deleted the message, placed his phone exactly where I'd found it, and fixed my lipstick in the mirror. Coming, love, I called back, my voice steady despite the trembling in my hands. The dining room was a museum of pretense. Crystal glasses caught the light, reflecting tiny prisms onto the walls, while Leonardo's mother, Evelyn, arranged the silverware with military precision. My cousin Amy sat across from me, all innocent smiles and designer dress that probably cost 3 months of her receptionist's salary. Fiona, dear, you look tired, Evelyn said, passing the breadbasket. Those long hours at the office. Perhaps if you focused more on home life. I caught Amy's quick glance at Leonardo. He suddenly became very interested in his wine glass. Actually, work's been wonderful, I said, cutting into my steak. We just landed the Peterson account. Evelyn hummed, unconvinced. You know, Amy just got promoted to office manager, and she still finds time to volunteer at the church nursery. Such a natural with children. The fork trembled slightly in my hand. Amy blushed, touching her neck where a small bruise peeked out from her collar, the same spot Leonardo used to kiss me. Speaking of children, Evelyn continued, have you and Leonardo considered that fertility specialist I mentioned? Leonardo cleared his throat. Mother, please. No, it's fine, I interrupted, smiling. Actually, I've been researching some alternative approaches, very exclusive wellness programs. Leonardo's agreed to try them with me. Amy's water glass clattered against her plate. Leonardo's head snapped up. I have? He asked. Remember, darling? We discussed it last week. The Holistic Fertility Center? Dr. Hassan's program? Leonardo shifted uncomfortably. Right. Yes. Of course. Oh, how wonderful! Evelyn clapped her hands. Finally taking initiative. You know, Amy's mother conceived her after just 3 months of marriage. Some women just have that natural blessing. I watched Amy's face flush deeper red. She knew. They all knew. The text messages, the late meetings, the convenient business trips. 7 years of being called barren while my husband planted his seed elsewhere. More wine, anyone? I offered, standing up. My hand brushed Leonardo's phone in my pocket. His real one, not the decoy I'd left upstairs. The one with months of messages, pictures, and lies. Actually, Amy spoke up, her voice small. I'm not drinking tonight. The room went still. I poured myself another glass, watching the red liquid swirl like blood. Oh? I said softly. Not feeling well? Leonardo's knuckles went white around his fork. Evelyn's eyes lit up with desperate hope. I shouldn't... Amy stammered. I raised my glass. A toast, then, to family secrets. May they all come to light eventually. Fiona, Leonardo warned. What's wrong, darling? Surely we can toast to new beginnings. I took a long sip, letting the wine burn down my throat. After all, I have so many exciting announcements planned for next week's dinner. The silence that followed was delicious. I set down my glass and gathered my purse. If you'll excuse me, I'm feeling a bit tired after all. Evelyn's right, those long hours really do take their toll. I kissed Leonardo's cheek, whispering just loud enough for Amy to hear. Delete this. I left them sitting there, my heels clicking against the hardwood floors like a countdown. They had no idea what was coming, but they would. Oh, they would. You're telling me you got him to agree to a fertility test? Livia nearly choked on her coffee. We were sitting in her office, safely away from prying eyes and eager ears. Men are simple creatures, I said, stirring my tea. Just wound their ego a bit, and they'll do anything to prove you wrong. The previous night's conversation with Leonardo played in my head like a perfectly executed chess move. Maybe your mother's right, I'd said, letting my voice crack just enough. Maybe it is me. But shouldn't we know for sure? Dr. Hassan's clinic has this new comprehensive testing program. Leonardo had puffed up immediately. It's not me. My family has never had fertility issues. Then prove it, I'd whispered, trailing my fingers down his chest. Show everyone it's my fault, once and for all. Now, Livia leaned forward across her desk. And he bought that? Hook, line, and sinker. His appointment is tomorrow morning. You're scary sometimes, you know that? I smiled. I learned from the best. 7 years of watching Evelyn manipulate everyone around her taught me a few things. My phone buzzed. A text from Amy. Can we talk, please? I showed it to Livia, who whistled low. Are you going to meet her? Of course. Every good story needs all its characters in play. The cafe was quiet for a Tuesday afternoon. Amy sat in a corner booth, fidgeting with her sleeve. She looked younger than her 26 years, more like the girl who used to braid my hair during family vacations. Thank you for coming, she said as I sat down. I've been trying to find the right way to tell you. That you're pregnant with my husband's baby, she flinched. How did you… Please, I cut her off. Give me some credit. The real question is, does Leonardo know yet? Amy's hand instinctively went to her stomach. I'm telling him tomorrow. I wanted you to hear it from me first. How considerate. I stirred my coffee slowly. And Derek? Does he know? The colour drained from her face. What about Derek? Your ex? The one you were still seeing 3 months ago? Interesting timing, don't you think? That's not… She stumbled over her words. Tell me something, Amy. Did Leonardo ever mention he's getting tested tomorrow? At Dr. Hassan's clinic? She shook her head, confusion crossing her features. Shame. Might have been useful information to have before making any big announcements. Standing up, I dropped a 20 on the table. Good luck tomorrow. Oh, and Amy? That necklace Leonardo gave you? He gave me the same one 3 years ago. He's not very original with his gifts. Back at work, I found an email from Dr. Hassan's office confirming Leonardo's appointment. Everything was falling into place. Ms. McCormick? My assistant poked her head in. Your husband is here. Leonardo strode in, all confident smiles and expensive cologne. Surprise lunch date? Actually, I said, pulling out a folder, I wanted to give you these forms for tomorrow. Dr. Hassan needs them completed before the test. He frowned at the paperwork. This seems excessive. Well, it is a comprehensive analysis, unless you're having second thoughts. Of course not, he snapped, his pride taking the bait. I told you, there's nothing wrong with me. I watched him sign each page without reading them, including the one authorizing release of results to both parties. Men really were simple creatures. Perfect, I said, tucking the forms away. Oh, and Leonardo? Good luck with your meeting tomorrow. The one after the clinic? He looked confused. What meeting? Didn't Amy tell you she needed to see you? Must have slipped her mind. The slight widening of his eyes was all I needed to see. He had no idea she was planning to tell him about the baby tomorrow. After he left, I called Livia. Everything's set, I said. Results will be ready in 3 days. And then what? I thought about Evelyn's upcoming birthday dinner, already planned for next weekend. The perfect stage for the final act. Then, I said, we let karma do its thing. You've got the nuclear code, Livia whispered. What are you going to do now? I smiled, touching the folder containing Leonardo's signed forms. I'm going to light the match and watch it all burn. Evelyn's birthday dinner was a masterpiece of tension. Crystal glasses clinked, silver gleamed, and lies hung in the air like expensive perfume. I dressed for war in a red dress that cost more than my first car, the test results burning a hole in my clutch. Before we begin, Evelyn announced, standing at the head of the table, Leonardo and Amy have something to share with everyone. My husband squeezed Amy's hand as they stood together. The diamond on her left ring finger caught the light. My grandmother's ring, I noticed. The one Leonardo had promised was lost last month. We're expecting a baby, Amy said, her voice trembling. And we're getting married. The room erupted in calculated joy. Valentina, Amy's mother, dabbed at her eyes with a monogrammed handkerchief. Evelyn beamed like she'd personally arranged the whole thing. Of course, we'll need to handle things delicately, Evelyn continued, turning to me. Fiona, dear, I trust you'll be graceful about this. It's time to pass the torch, as they say. I took a long sip of wine. How far along are you, Amy? 12 weeks, she whispered. Interesting timing, I mused. Right around when you were still seeing Derek, wasn't it? The room went silent. Amy's hand flew to her throat. That's enough, Leonardo snapped. This is supposed to be a celebration. Oh, it is. I reached for my clutch. In fact, I have an announcement of my own. Fiona, Leonardo warned. It's about those fertility tests you took last week, darling. The results came in. Leonardo's face went pale. Those results are private, not according to the release form you signed. I pulled out the envelope. Should I share the highlights? This isn't the time or place, he hissed. Really? Because announcing your affair and pregnancy at your mother's birthday dinner seemed perfectly appropriate to you. Evelyn cleared her throat. Perhaps we should... No, Mother, I cut her off. You wanted me to be graceful? Watch this. I stood, raising my glass. To new beginnings. To Leonardo, who's been diagnosed with complete infertility, a condition he's had since birth. To Amy, who's carrying someone else's child while wearing my grandmother's ring. And to you, Evelyn, for 7 years of calling me barren while your own son couldn't father a child if his life depended on it. The silence was deafening. Leonardo lunged for the envelope, but I held it out of reach. Dr. Hassan signed and notarized the results himself. Would you like me to call him? He's expecting to hear from us, actually. You're lying, Evelyn whispered. Am I? I turned to Amy. So, since we know Leonardo's not the father, who is it? Derek? Or should we start a list? Amy burst into tears and ran from the room. Valentina stood up so fast, her chair toppled backward. You vindictive bitch, she spat. Careful, Val. Remember who knew about their affair for months and said nothing? Want me to share those texts too? Leonardo grabbed my arm. You've lost your mind. No, darling. I pulled free. I finally found it, along with my spine, my dignity, and evidence of every lie you've told for the past year. I dropped the test results on the table. Happy birthday, Evelyn. I got you what you always wanted. The truth about your perfect son. Get out, Evelyn whispered. Get out of my house. Gladly. But first... I turned to Leonardo. The divorce papers are being delivered to your office tomorrow. Don't worry. I'm not asking for much. Just everything. I walked to the door, then paused. Oh, and that wellness center you've been visiting with Amy on Thursdays? The one you claimed was a gym? They have security cameras, really high-quality ones. The footage has been sent to your board of directors. Apparently, they frown on executives having sex in spa rooms. The last thing I heard as I left was the sound of Evelyn's expensive china shattering against the wall. I smiled, pulling out my phone to text Livia. Nuclear code deployed. Ground Zero is a disaster zone. Her response came instantly. Get in the car. I've got wine and popcorn ready. You need to tell me everything. I stepped into the cool night air, finally feeling free. The war wasn't over, not by a long shot, but tonight's battle. Total annihilation. You can't just ignore my calls forever. Leonardo's voice crackled through my voicemail as I sat in Livia's living room. We need to talk about this like adults. Adults don't sleep with their wives' cousins, Livia shouted at my phone, pouring more wine. God, what a piece of work. My phone buzzed again. Evelyn this time. I let it ring. 27 missed calls in 3 hours. I mused. I think we struck a nerve. Have you seen the texts from Amy? I scrolled through them. Please let me explain. It wasn't supposed to happen like this. I never meant to hurt you. A knock at the door made us both jump. Livia peeked through the peephole and swore. It's Leonardo and Amy. Perfect. I smoothed my dress. Let them in. Leonardo burst through the door the moment Livia opened it, Amy trailing behind him like a guilty shadow. Those test results are fake, he announced. I've already called Dr. Hassan's office. Oh! I pulled out my phone. Let's call him together. He's working late tonight, specifically waiting for this call. I dialed the number on speaker. Dr. Hassan answered on the second ring. Mrs. McCormick, I was expecting to hear from you. Dr. Hassan, my husband believes there might be an error in his test results. Could you please confirm your findings? Certainly. Mr. Leonardo's results show complete azoospermia, a condition present from birth. This means, that's enough, Leonardo snapped. This is a violation of what? I interrupted. The privacy agreement you signed without reading? The one that specifically allowed me access to all results? Amy stepped forward, tears streaming down her face. I can explain. Let me guess, I said. You were lonely. Leonardo was there. One thing led to another. But then, surprise, you got pregnant. And instead of admitting it was Derek's, you both saw an opportunity. Leonardo could finally prove he was a real man, and you could trade up from a personal trainer to a CEO. It's not like that, Amy whispered. Really? Then explain the texts I found between you and Derek from 2 months ago. The ones where you begged him not to tell anyone about your weekend in Miami? Leonardo's head snapped toward Amy. What weekend in Miami? The one where this miracle baby was conceived, I said sweetly. Would you like to see the hotel receipts? You had no right to investigate me, Leonardo snarled. And you had no right to gaslight me for 7 years. I stood up, fury finally breaking through. You let your mother torture me, blame me, shame me in front of everyone we knew. You knew you were the infertile one all along, didn't you? His silence was answer enough. Get out, Livia said quietly. Both of you. This isn't over, Leonardo warned. Oh, but it is. I held up my phone. Everything I've said tonight is recorded. Every piece of evidence is backed up in triplicate. Try to fight the divorce, and this all goes public. Your choice. Amy reached for my hand. Fiona, please. I jerked away. The cousin I loved died the moment you decided to sleep with my husband. Get out. After they left, Livia wrapped her arm around my shoulders. You okay? No, I admitted. But I will be. My phone buzzed again. A text from Valentina. You've destroyed this family. I typed back. No, your lies did that. I just exposed them. What now? Livia asked. I thought about the USB drive in my purse, filled with screenshots, videos, and documents. About Evelyn's social circle, who'd love to know how her perfect son had been lying all these years. About Leonardo's board of directors, who were already asking questions about his moral character. Now? I smiled. Now we let karma finish what truth started. You're terrifying, Livia said admiringly. I love it. My phone lit up with another call, this time from Derek. Now that was interesting. Should I answer? I asked. Livia grinned. Oh, honey, the night's still young. Let's hear what he has to say. I pressed accept, ready for the next act in this drama. After all, every good story needs a few more twists before the final curtain. I want in, Derek said, sliding into the booth across from me at the diner. Whatever you're planning next, I want to help. I stirred my coffee, studying him. Derek looked exactly like the kind of personal trainer who'd catch Amy's eye. Tall, muscular, with just enough bad boy edge to make good girls think twice. Why should I trust you? He pulled out his phone, scrolling through messages. Because Amy's trying to deny I'm the father. She's telling everyone I'm lying, that the baby's Leonardo's. I've got proof otherwise. The Miami weekend? And others. He pushed the phone across the table. Look at the dates. The timestamps matched perfectly with the baby's conception. Photos, hotel receipts, even a video of them together at a beach restaurant. Why didn't you come forward sooner? She threatened to ruin my business, said Leonardo would make sure I never worked in this city again. He leaned forward. But now, after what you did at that dinner, everyone's talking, the truth's already out there. My phone buzzed, Livia sending updates. Leonardo's company had called an emergency board meeting. Evelyn had cancelled her country club membership for personal reasons. Amy had taken sudden leave from work. The truth's just getting started, I said. But I need to know, are you ready for what comes next? Because it gets uglier. Try me. I texted Livia. Release phase 2. Within hours, the carefully curated evidence started appearing online. Anonymous posts about Leonardo's fertility cover-up, hints about Amy's affair, whispers about Evelyn's role in the deception. Each post perfectly timed, perfectly placed to reach the right audiences. By evening, my phone was exploding. You vindictive witch! Evelyn's voice shook through the speaker. Do you know what you've done? Leonardo's board is calling for his resignation. Our family name is worth protecting more than your daughter-in-law's dignity, I cut in. Tell me, Evelyn, how long did you know about Leonardo's condition? Silence. That's what I thought. Did it feel good, watching me suffer? Blaming me year after year while protecting your precious son's ego? I was protecting our family. No, you were protecting your lies. And now you get to watch them all unravel. I hung up as another call came in. Amy's workplace HR department, requesting a meeting about certain allegations regarding professional misconduct. Derek watched me field the calls with raised eyebrows. Remind me never to cross you. Too late for that warning in this family, I said, just as Leonardo burst into the diner. You think you've won? He snarled, ignoring the stares from other customers. You think destroying my career makes you powerful? I stayed seated, sipping my coffee. No, Leonardo. What makes me powerful is finally speaking the truth. Something you should try sometime. The truth? He laughed bitterly. The truth is you're just a bitter, barren woman who... Derek stood up, towering over Leonardo. Finish that sentence. Please. Leonardo's face went pale as recognition hit. You... Me, Derek confirmed. The actual father of Amy's baby. Want to talk about truth now? My phone pinged again. Livia sending a video link. The security footage from the wellness center had leaked online. Leonardo's face went from pale to green. You're going to regret this, he whispered. No, I said quietly. I regret the 7 years I spent believing I was broken. I regret letting you and your mother convince me I was less of a woman. But this? I gestured to the chaos unfolding on my phone. This I'll never regret. After Leonardo stormed out, Derek whistled low. That was intense. It's not over, I said, checking my messages. Evelyn's called a family meeting for tomorrow. One last attempt to contain the damage. Are you going? I smiled, thinking of the final piece of evidence still waiting to be released. The nuclear option. The one that would bring the entire house of cards crashing down. Of course, I said. I wouldn't miss it for the world. My phone lit up with a text from Livia. You should be careful. They've lost everything. They might try to take you down with them. I typed back. Let them try. I've got nothing left to lose, and everything to gain. The truth, after all, was just getting started. The Reddit post went viral faster than I expected. Aita, for exposing my husband's infertility after he got my cousin pregnant? 20,000 upvotes in 3 hours. The comments section was a battlefield of justice and revenge. Your story's trending, Livia said, scrolling through her phone. Twitter's calling it the fertility fraud saga. Have you seen the local news? I showed her my laptop. They're running a special report tonight on prominent CEO caught in family scandal. My phone rang. A number I hadn't seen in years. My father. Hello, Winston. I answered coolly. Jesus, Fiona. His voice was gruff. I just saw the news. Are you okay? Now you care? After 5 years of silence? I deserve that. But I'm flying in tomorrow. What this family needs is irrelevant. I cut him off. Where were you when Evelyn was destroying me piece by piece? When Leonardo... A notification popped up on my screen. An email from a major publishing house. Subject: Book deal inquiry. I have to go, I told Winston. I'm busy watching karma do its job. The doorbell rang. Livia checked the security camera and swore. It's Amy, and she's crying. I opened the door to find my cousin looking like she'd aged 10 years in 2 days. Her designer clothes were wrinkled, her makeup smeared. Derek went public, she sobbed. He's doing interviews, showing evidence. My boss suspended me. The church asked me to step down from the children's ministry. Everything's falling apart. Funny how that happens when lies unravel. Please, she grabbed my hand. You have to help me. Tell them it was all a misunderstanding. I pulled away. Like you told everyone I was just bitter and barren? I never meant... Save it. I checked my phone. Another viral post, this time with the wellness center footage. Your mistakes are trending. Far's fertility fraud is number 3 worldwide. Leonardo's being forced to resign, she whispered. Evelyn's had to leave town. Our whole family is being torn apart. Our family? I laughed. You mean the family that watched me suffer for 7 years? The one that blamed me for not providing an heir while Leonardo knew he couldn't have children? My phone buzzed again. A message from Dr. Hassan. Board of Medical Ethics requesting your testimony regarding Mr. Leonardo's previous knowledge of his condition. The truth hurts, doesn't it? I showed Amy the message. Almost as much as betrayal. She collapsed onto my doorstep, mascara running down her cheeks. What am I supposed to do now? Own it, I said simply. Tell the truth. All of it. Before someone else does it for you. Evelyn will never forgive me. Evelyn's opinion stopped mattering the moment she chose lies over loyalty. My laptop pinged, another news alert. Leonardo's company stock had dropped 15%. The board statement mentioned moral integrity concerns. You've destroyed everything, Amy whispered. No, I corrected her. Your choices did that. I just held up a mirror. After she left, Livia poured us both a glass of wine. You okay? Look at this, I showed her my phone. Someone had created a TikTok compilation of Leonardo's public appearances overlaid with screenshots of his fertility test results. The comments were brutal. It's gone beyond viral, Livia mused. It's become a movement. Women sharing similar stories of gaslighting and blame. My email pinged again. A morning show wanting an interview, then another from a women's magazine. The story was taking on a life of its own. You know what the best part is? I said, scrolling through the messages. I'm not even done yet. What's left? I pulled out a USB drive. Remember those offshore accounts Leonardo thought no one knew about? The ones funding his secret apartment where he met Amy? Tomorrow his board receives full documentation of every transaction. You're ruthless, Livia said admiringly. No, I corrected her. I'm just done being silent. My phone lit up with another call, this time from a London number. A headhunting firm wanting to discuss exciting opportunities. Karma didn't just walk in heels. Sometimes it flew first class to better possibilities. Evelyn's house looked smaller somehow, less intimidating than it had during all those Sunday dinners. I walked up the familiar steps, my heels clicking against marble that had witnessed years of perfectly orchestrated lies. Thank you for coming, Evelyn said stiffly, opening the door. The perfect hostess mask was cracking. Her hand trembled as she gestured me inside. The living room held the remains of my former family. Leonardo sat with his head in his hands, his resignation letter making headlines on the muted TV behind him. Amy huddled in a corner, one hand protectively over her growing belly. Valentina glared daggers at me while my father, Winston, paced by the window. Well, I said, settling into my usual armchair. This is cozy. We want to make a deal, Evelyn announced, her voice brittle. To end this circus. A deal? I raised an eyebrow. Do tell. She pulled out a checkbook. Name your price. In return, you issue a public statement saying it was all a misunderstanding, that the test results were inconclusive. You think you can buy the truth? I think, she said carefully, that everyone has a price. Leonardo lifted his head. Please, Fiona, my career is over, I finished. Just like my marriage, just like the respect I had for this family. Be reasonable, Valentina snapped. You've made your point. Have I? I turned to her. Tell me, Val, how many times did Amy cry on your shoulder about Derek while you pushed her toward Leonardo instead? How many times did you help cover their tracks? She flinched. Money can't fix this, I said, standing up. But since we're all here, I should mention that I've accepted a position in London, head of global marketing for their largest firm. You're leaving? Leonardo asked. Oh, that's not all. I pulled out my phone. I've also sold my story to The Atlantic. Full exposé, coming out next month. They're particularly interested in the medical ethics violation angle. Evelyn's checkbook clattered to the floor. You wouldn't dare. Watch me. I turned to Amy. They're very interested in your perspective too. The pressure of family expectations, the affair, the pregnancy. It's quite the cautionary tale. I'll sue you, Leonardo threatened. With what money? Those offshore accounts are frozen, remember? The board's forensic accountants send their regards, by the way. Winston stepped forward. Fiona, honey, don't honey me now, I cut him off. Where were you when I needed a father? When I was being torn apart by these people? I'm here now. Too late. I checked my watch. Speaking of time, I should go. My interview with Good Morning America is tomorrow. Wait. Leonardo grabbed my arm. I still love you. We can fix this. I jerked away. Fix what? Your lies? Your betrayal? The years you let me believe I was broken? I was scared, and I was your wife. My voice finally cracked. I would have stood by you through anything. Instead, you chose this. The room fell silent. On the TV, another headline scrolled. Fertility fraud scandal rocks business community. The article comes out in 4 weeks, I said, heading for the door. I suggest you all prepare your statements carefully. The truth has a way of demanding attention. You're not innocent in this, Evelyn called after me. You've orchestrated this whole revenge scheme. I turned back one last time. You're right, I did, and I'd do it again. Because sometimes karma needs a little help delivering its messages. Outside, Livia waited in her car. How'd it go? They tried to buy my silence, I said, buckling up. Evelyn actually pulled out her checkbook. Classic. Livia pulled away from the curb. So, London? London. I smiled. New city, new start, new life. And the article? Goes live the day I land in Heathrow. Perfect timing, don't you think? My phone buzzed. A text from Amy. I'm sorry. For everything. Too little. Too late. But as we drove away from the house that had witnessed so many perfectly crafted lies, I felt lighter. Free. You know what's funny? I said to Livia. They still think this is about revenge. Isn't it? No. I watched Evelyn's house disappear in the rearview mirror. It's about justice, and justice doesn't need to whisper anymore. And that's how your Reddit post became the most viral story of revenge this year, the podcast host said, adjusting her microphone. How does it feel? I smiled, glancing at Livia, who gave me a thumbs up from behind the recording booth glass. It feels like closure. The Atlantic article drops tomorrow, the host continued. Any final thoughts before it goes live? Actually, yes. I leaned forward. To every woman who's been gaslit, blamed, or made to feel broken, your truth matters. Your voice matters. My phone buzzed. A text from Dr. Hassan. Board hearing concluded. Leonardo's previous doctor lost his license for concealing the fertility diagnosis. Justice served. Speaking of justice, the host said, we have a surprise caller. Amy, my cousin's voice crackled through the speakers. Fiona, I needed to tell you. I'm naming names, all of them, in my own article. I sat up straighter. What? Derek's been amazing, supporting me through this. But the truth needs to come out. About Evelyn's manipulation, about how she pushed me toward Leonardo, about everything. The host leaned forward. This is unexpected. The baby's a girl, Amy continued, and I don't want her growing up in a world where women are pitted against each other by toxic family dynamics, so I'm breaking the cycle. My phone lit up again. Leonardo's final divorce settlement. He'd signed everything over without contest. One more caller, the host announced. Evelyn? My heart stopped. Fiona! Evelyn's voice had lost its imperial tone. I read the advance copy of your article, and you were right. About everything. I failed you. Failed all of us. Save it, I said. Your reputation's in shambles. This is damage control. No, this is a confession. I knew about Leonardo's condition before you married him. I thought we could hide it. That somehow, that I'd be the perfect scapegoat. Yes, she whispered. And I was wrong. So wrong. The host cleared her throat. This is quite the moment of truth. My phone buzzed again. An email from my new London firm. Corner office ready. Team excited to meet their new director. You know what the worst part was? I said to Evelyn. I would have loved Leonardo anyway. Infertility didn't make him less of a man. Lying did. Silence filled the studio. The article tomorrow, I continued, isn't just about revenge. It's about power. The power of truth against generations of lies. The power of standing up when everyone expects you to stay down. It's already trending, the host noted. Truth over lies is #1 worldwide. After the recording, Livia hugged me tight. Ready for London? Almost. I checked my messages one last time. A text from Winston. Proud of you, kiddo. Should have been proud all along. Delete. A message from Leonardo. I never deserved you. Delete. Finally, an email from a women's support group. Your story has inspired thousands. Would you consider being our keynote speaker? You know, I said to Livia, London's great, but maybe there's more work to be done here first. Changing the world one truth bomb at a time? I laughed, feeling lighter than I had in years. Something like that. My phone pinged one final time, a notification from Reddit. My original post had been archived as one of the platform's all-time highest-rated stories. The top comment read, "Karma doesn't need wings to fly. It walks in heels, walks into dinner, and brings the receipts." Perfect ending? Livia asked. Livia, I thought about the women who'd reached out, sharing their own stories of gaslighting and redemption. About Amy breaking free from toxic patterns. Even about Evelyn, finally facing her own reflection. No, I said, gathering my things. Perfect beginning. Because sometimes the best revenge isn't about destroying others, it's about rebuilding yourself stronger than before. And bringing receipts. Always bring receipts.